Yo, we're live. It has been a while, but we are going to check out some stuff today for Advent of Code, getting ahead of it. I'm going to go ahead and get some stuff ready here. And yeah, we'll just start the stream off slow and see where things go. So here we go. Cleaning up some stuff right now, and then I'll share my screen. We can start into looking at some stuff for Advent of Code. Excuse me. All right. I think we're good. It's been a while since I've been streaming streaming like this at least. So let's set this up. All right. Let's do like this for now. So yeah, I think what we'll start out is just jumping onto GitHub. We can. I believe the best place to start is probably with a previous iteration to see how it went. Let's also open up just Advent of Code itself. We'll take a look at like the previous year. And kind of go from there. Let me go ahead and get myself signed in. Just want to make sure it's all set up properly. All right. I think we're good now. Get myself over to the side. So the goal for today is we're going to get things set up for Advent of Code. And I want to get things set up so that if people want to code or solve these puzzles that we can see here on screen for Advent of Code using Typescript, that'll be the first one. Excuse me. So if folks are using Typescript, I want them to be able to essentially just come in and start coding. So I'm trying to provide. Well, let me rephrase that. I want folks to be able to come in and be able to just start coding with TypeScript and have like as many tools available as makes sense. So I think the main things I'm thinking of would be having something in the way of like putting in vtest. I'm not sure about this yet, but so this isn't a hard requirement, but doing something like having vtest or maybe jest or some sort of testing suite potentially available, so that you can read in, for example, the sample code, and people can also create their own create their own test cases. So I want to be able to provide a nice, easy way of doing that. And excuse me, just being able to essentially, I want to take a lot of the tedium away from people that want to do Advent of Code. So that's the goal. Avoid the tedium while also giving as much of the benefit as possible. And so really what I would like to do is be able to give people either a one command that's going to spin up a repo for them, or if not a command, at least give them a repo that they can fork, and they can just run like an install of any packages and then be ready to go from there. So yeah, let's take a look. This was, I think, last year's starter. So we can see the way things were done here. So the folder structure kind of looks like this. Excuse me. I think one thing I'd like to do immediately is just get rid of the puzzles directory. And I think, yeah, so this was going with sort of with the former method I had mentioned, which was to create a TypeScript editive code starter. I think this actually like came to a pretty reasonable starting place. I'm going to pull up just because I don't remember. I feel like I offered both options last year. So I'm going to try to see if I can pull up on YouTube just what that looks like. So we just look up like of code TypeScript. And see. I think that, so this is my video from last year. Pause it. I feel like I guess the only way I offered it last year was just via this command. So I think we'll probably look to do both this year, just because I think a lot of people are kind of looking for, just for what we're doing, a lot of people are kind of looking for that. And that means like I still want to actually be able to do exactly this, give people the command or the option to just run this command. And we can kind of go from there. So that'll give them essentially the template. So that'll essentially be a one-stop for cloning down the repo. But I want to have a repo that is me doing that, so people can just like fork that way. I guess the benefit of this is like this one we can actually give people appropriately fresh Git history, I think. So that's good. I'd like to like set up Git for folks too. I think Git is like inobtrusive enough that if people don't want to like use a version control, like they don't want to push it up or anything like that, they don't need to. But just setting that up, I feel like if we're going through some hypothetical set of interactive prompts, I don't think I'd even want to give them that option. I think I just want to put it in, like just and make sure Git is in there, and then let people figure it out from there. But yeah. Well, let's do this since this is up. Let's try. Let's just see what's going on with what we did from last year. So I'm just gonna open up VS Code. I'll do that. Did I actually? Nope. Let me grab the thing. Create TSC. Then we'll go ahead and do all that. I think one thing I definitely want to do is either go to, I think PMPM is going to be the way to go. I'd be interested in trying out Bun. Let me kind of make a note of this stuff. Let me see. Here's my pen. So this is probably not very good for streaming, but one of the things I've been gravitating back towards is just in terms of tool sets, creating or maintaining handwritten notes. So maybe I can get at a later point some like camera here for the paper. But in the absence of that, I'm just going to do this. So I'm just writing some notes here. So the big one is check timing on create step. I want to be able to offer it both ways. So offer it as a forkable template and via command. And let's say package manager. As much as I like NPM, just for being the standard. Let's say, so we'll try for bun if we can make bun work. If not, we'll do PM. Hopefully, it probably shouldn't matter too much to most people. I don't want, these are the kind of things I don't want to matter to anyone that's using the package, but to me, it matters. Excuse me. Okay. This looks essentially like what I was hoping to do. There's maybe something, maybe we can change that. Let me make another physical note of that. I think just workspace name and location. Because I think to most people, they don't want to open up TSC, AOC starter. They probably just want to open up AOC, I would think, for Advent of Code. But yeah, let's go. Let's open up a new window here. So this is what I just created. So looking at stuff. So I do have a custom executor here that's using NX. I think we probably absolutely want to use NX here. I'm not sure we want to take this approach where we're using executors though. Excuse me. Let me create anything over here. I want to look at what that executor is. Let's see. I'll keep it over here for now. You can kill this one. So packages. Let me just open up debug mode. I was going to skip that for now. Oh, okay. I guess we have to. Excuse me. I kind of wish this is the default view at some point. I don't actually want to work. I don't actually want to edit on GitHub. I find, at least, I'm happy to go to VS Code for that. I do wish this was the way of traversing things. So looking at things, we have create TSE AOC starter. Imagine this is this is just going to print out the stuff that we had done. We're just going to set up Git ourselves, looks like. We are using some stuff from Create NX Workspace. I think that maybe makes sense. As long as we can make that fast enough, I think. Probably a good point to mention, too. NX is officially sponsoring this stream, which is cool. So I'll be streaming a lot more, is upside of that. And hopefully we'll be able to do some really cool stuff here. Just starting with this, getting this template out and hopefully being a helpful tool for folks. And from here, we can kind of go on. I think I'm going to make this bigger. I'm still getting into streaming ahead. Gotta get used to the large fonts again. All right. So here's where we actually run the script. But this is the piece I'm more interested in, which is the puzzle executor. What exactly are we doing here? because I don't remember. I know I wrote this, but I just don't remember. Um, so we're going to get a TypeScript file. Okay. What's the options look like? Okay. So, okay, does this actually work? Okay, I don't need this one. Cool. So I'm looking at how this is set up. So this in the black window here, the VS Code. Um, this is this is a repo that I just created from last year's starter. Just looking at things to see. I'm just refreshing my memory, everything that happened with this repo and how it was working. I think one of the biggest things I want to change here is probably hoisting all the days up from puzzles. And maybe even, I don't know, I do kind of like having the days grouped by directory. But yeah, I guess top of the stack right now is just seeing what this executor was doing when I was looking at the project.json here. So one thing I know we can do is using some of the stuff that came out since last year, Project Crystal. All those should just be able to go away, which should be great. Like we probably wouldn't even need a Project JSON, which is actually like exactly what I want. So that would be great. I don't think we'll need a Project JSON even at all. Because if we look at this, especially if I'm going to hoist up puzzles or get rid of the puzzles directory, just start things right in. There's a lot of config files here already, and some of these, prettier is something we want to set things up with. Package JSON file. Okay. How did I tell people to do it in the README? I probably want to update the README here too. Because I don't, once it's in here, like once it's created, once it's in the user's hands, I want this to be very simply, I want this to go right to running the puzzles probably. Okay. Your solution file to. Okay, so I give people the option. So one thing I definitely want to be able to do, because I remember, at least I think I seem to recall hitting this last year, was excuse me. I think what we're going to want to do is be able to give people the ability to make their own data sets without having to collaborate. I mean, I guess essentially you could do this with sample right now. I just don't want to make it so rigid that people can't or feel like they can't run against their sample data. So really, we do give people this. I feel like something like this. solution here could be helpful. We don't really give people the ability or the option to use like a testing framework either, which I think some people want to use, which I guess personally I wouldn't agree with it. I really like the way things were set up here, where you can just I guess pass sample as a way of saying let's run with the test data set and having this here. Let me see how the okay. Excuse me. I wonder if there's something we can do to make this like more Christmassy too. I bet there is. We'll put that on the list. Something to do. Again, sorry, handwritten list, but we'll get a camera on the page eventually. Procky, what's up, my dude? Hope you're doing well. Great to see you. This is not official, no. In prior years, so the last 2 years, NX actually was a sponsor for Advent of Code. I don't think we're going to do that this year. So this is more just unofficial, just giving folks something to do with this. But I think the thing I'd like to do is like maybe create like a utility thing just to make this. I gotta kind of see how that looks. But just like alternate this green and red. We'll see. Or Christmas themed chalk, I guess. In So right now, Rocky, I'm just kind of looking through things and seeing what I didn't like about last year's. Part of me wonders, as like, so this is very straightforward. It gives people like a way of doing whatever they want inside of the output. Part of me almost wants to do like give another thing that says like run solution and then just say day one like that. Obviously not implemented over here, but then we would just like run solution. From here. How does shared look like? Okay. That's not bad. Yeah, I think like Advent of Code is always something that's really fun to do when you first get into it, especially the first several days. I tend to usually drop off around day 15. It just gets like too tedious at that point. And like, I feel like at that point, each half takes at least an hour for most of the stuff, just because I'm trying to like figure out how to do everything. But yeah, we'll see. It's sometimes it's kind of like a crapshoot. I feel like sometimes I just get stuck on a weird bug or something like that I've done to myself. But I'm thinking right now whether like this is nice having shared.ts here. Essentially, we're generating this utility for them and just dropping it in. I'm trying to think what's the benefits to this versus publishing like a separate package called like AOC utils or something like that. And then just like having read data come in from there. So how did this work? Hang on. All right. Let's just try. If we just want to like console the data. Oh, didn't save. Okay. So let's try 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then this is 7, 8. So I wanted to see how this looked. So this is how the data came in. And if I did, I don't, I wonder if this is just something I could easily adjust so that rather than sample, we can take in any kind of string and then just say, some sort of format. So if as long as it said like the name sample.data, and then I could do something like someone wanted to do an alternate data set, just do like that. And then as long as they had something that looked like K1 a dot food dot or not to food dot data dot text, then it would read from here. I think that would be work. I don't like a lot of like just how long these file names are getting. But yeah. Oh, let's see. Node alpha success factor consistently. Yeah, that's a possibility. I think like using something like vtest would be a huge benefit here, Mike, just because I think what I want this to feel for folks is like if it should feel very familiar. So if they like using, a test suite or some sort of testing framework, I'd like to like be able to support that. So um yeah, that's kind of the thinking at least. Oh, excuse me. Apologies for my voice, by the way. I feel fine. But I've been like kicking around something with my voice for a while. Yeah, so the thing that makes it like not redundant is just the well, like what do I call this? I mean, I guess I could just do a.ts, right? So let's just do. It's hard too because there's always two parts to each one. So if I did something like this, I could rename. I guess that works fine. A.data. Rename these all across the way. I think I do like this the more I look at it. Maybe like put this actually after the dot, and then have that as the way of passing that in. I think that makes more sense. I think I will do that this year, this time around. Agreed, Mike. Agreed. We'll get that in. Let me put that on my handwritten notes. Certain file names. Okay, and we'll also have allow any name for a data set. All right. But I didn't want to see still. How is this happening? Is maybe the question. Excuse me. Because I call it data path, but I'm not passing that through here. Is that in read data? Yeah, okay. File name or argv2. What does that executor do? I would prefer, I guess, not to make people answer that question if they're ever looking at doing something like this themselves. Executor. So we get a TS file, and then we run TSX. Okay. So that's why. So that's argv2 is this right here. So we're building that into the executor, which I guess is fine. I'm considering just axing the executor altogether and then doing something more like what we had said, which would look more like run solution. You just pass in this. I feel like that would just make more sense at the end of the day. So we don't make people have to know what an executor is. Oh, I'm sharing on the wrong screen. But yeah, I think I want to go more towards something like this. Maybe even just generate that into like the utilities thing. And add some comments here. All right, let me add some stuff here. Because I think I'll go down this road, I think. I think I will. I'm going to forego the creating a new package and publishing a new package. Just for this, I think it makes more sense for people to have more control over everything. And so I'm taking more of like a shed CDN kind of approach to these utility functions. Say add run solution. I feel like this way too, it would be using run solution. It's a good mixture of I feel like that will be a good mixture of keeping this file concerned with what it should be concerned with. This is just like solving the problem, which I feel like I almost rather do rather than providing a data path here. I want to be careful because I don't want to be too prescriptive with how people are going to parse the data. But I wonder if I could almost do more like we'll handle like reading data in from run solution. And that will be in some ways driven by, the arg vector. And data would look more like a string array. And the idea it would always come in as a string array, and you'd have to parse from there. So if you wanted to turn these things into numbers, for example, you'd have to do like some convert to number array. I also want to do like, rather than add your solution here, to like provide your solution as the return of this function. I do like that a lot better because I don't want chalk to just be dumped in every file. So this is essentially what I want each day to look like, I think, as soon as people get it. Thanks for stopping by, Mike. Always great to have you on, man. Appreciate you. Hope you have a good day. Yeah, I think this is what I want it to look like. Maybe do something here where this comes in differently, but I guess since I'm going to hoist it up a little bit, it's going to just look like utils like that. I think that's the appropriate amount of stuff. That feels right. So I'm going to run with it. All right. So let's just mess here. Let's see how this is going to look. Just hoist all these files up, or all these directories up one. Oh, shoot. What have I done? There we go. No, I'm not messing with that. So that does look a little bit more cluttered as opposed to having puzzles nested inside of here. I'm kind of okay with that. Just because I don't want people messing with these hardly ever. Let's rename this to like utils. Excuse me. Okay. Explore function. Solution. I probably don't want to make this async, as in I don't want it to be a promise of a number. I believe we probably want this to be any. So we'll read in the data. This I like much more, actually. And we can actually get rid of a lot of this. And here's where we might do something like function parse create file name. So we need like the day, which is a number. We could do this super type safe and make it like only integers from 1 to 25. I may end up doing that, but not right now. Excuse me. There's a part is A or B. The strings A or B, that is. And then optionally, data set. And the idea is turn join path. So the first one would be day with the day number. Yeah. Copilot knows where I'm going. Dash part. And then here's where we'd have to put like data set. So we do data set dot or dot data set rather. Otherwise empty. So when we run the command, we're going to run like nx day one a. I wonder what would the thing look like being the project for this? I guess it would be something like, I don't want to put too much magic in, but I guess we would do something like what we're doing with the executor right now. But I don't think I want to put that in there. I don't think I want to do run executor. I think I will just want it to have, if we're working with the project JSON. Again, like a lot of this will go away with Project Crystal. I've got that on the list here already. But rather than doing an executor, I think what we want to do is just pass it the command. Here. And we can do this via the we can do this via the plugin we'll make. It would do something like TSX. Yeah, day one / a. And then we'd probably do something like, ooh, we'd be real tricky here too. Sample. Or maybe just like that. We could like just read in from the arg sam. So then sample would just be in the arg vector, and that's how we could do something like this. And this would be flipped. So a dot data dot foo a dot data dot sample. We could check too, like too in the Project Crystal stuff. We could actually check just based off the presence of these things. So we can make this super conventionally based, which I think I want to do that for the first iteration. I'm not sure we'll keep that, but let's do, I'm going to mark that here. I think that's probably where I'll start working on as soon as we get the run solution in. But we'll say create plugin. That's dynamically adds targets for data sets. That would be cool. Let's try to do that. Excuse me. Let me switch things up for just a second while I'm pulling out a sample I can look at here. This is going to be interesting just to see how this works. Let's say with this for now, let's read this all the way through. So file name equals create file name. We can parse out some things from the arg vector. So we don't care about the first one. So this is going to be like day info, or rather puzzle. I guess it's the puzzle, yeah. And then data set. .argv. Right. So how does that work? It okay. I think I'm doing bitwise. It doesn't like this. Why doesn't it like this? Why is it removing my parenthesis? Oh, okay. Because I've got it in the wrong spot. This. Am I typing off? Okay, that's right. I was going to say, why does it still think it's a string? I don't know. I'm wanting it to say data set should be string or undefined. I guess maybe. I guess it's probably just properties of argv. I don't know. Well, in any case, so we'll create the file name. And we can kind of I don't want to be too crazy. It's the day part. So for the first one, we just want X, otherwise. We can one-liner this. Is that a thing? Did I do this right? Let's do it like this. I'll do it old school. Did I do it wrong? There we go. That's what I meant to do. All right. As string. Wait. Am I doing this all backwards? All right, going over here. We need to parse out these things. Okay. So I actually need to do it like this. Split this way first. Because we don't want X, we want X dot split. Here we want to split by the dash. And then we want to take the second one. We want to turn that into a number. Okay. Otherwise, we just want that as. Okay. Day, here's a number. Part, here's A or B. So then we can finally create the file name. With day in part. The data set. Optionally coming in as the next part. I'd be able to do that. Read data. So that's my data coming in, and then we'll await the solution. Then we'll, for now, it's just console logging that answer, but I think that should work. That's interesting. Let's make sure. I think that's just Typescript needed to reset itself. It is Monday. All right. I think we can get kind of what I was hoping for now. On a executor and command. Did I do that? It's very probable I did. That's interesting. Let's try this. Linux reset. Should not have executor and command both configured. I wonder what's going on there. Let's do an XO project. Okay. That's not working either. That's apparently because the project graph is not being able to be constructed correctly. So when I try to show the project, it's unable to because we have command both configured. I wonder. Let's try passing it in with verbose. That gives us some more. No, not really. I wonder what it is that's making it have a executor and command. Let me try just this. Okay. A1/. Okay. Okay. Excuse me. Let's not wrap that in another function. A-NAN. Okay. /users. Interesting. What does the arg vector look like? Am I mistaken? Um, excuse me. Yeah. Interesting. So we're using node and then that. as a full path here. I don't think I'm going to be able to pass things in the way I was thinking I could either. Let's see. If I do this, oh, that is actually fine. Is it? I don't know. Let's see. I'd always trim out the stuff from the path on the puzzle. Let's say this is full path. It's a constant puzzle. I guess that would work. What I think Copilot's trying to get me to do. Put it back in. Yeah. All right. Okay. Ah. String manipulation. File name. This is down here. So how does that look again? So it's part dot always data, and then potentially there you go. I think that's right. Okay. There we go. I guess just to get like for like with the previous iteration, let's do it like that. And we'll put this inside the utils. Let's clean up some of this stuff. Yeah. Is that right? Okay. All right. So let's make sure we can do what we had done before with this. So make sure we're reading in the data. So that was with sample. Does that match? Yep. And then, so if we get rid of sample, we have that. Okay. I think that's what we want to do. Obviously, we'll want to get rid of the console log of the argument vector. And I think that looks nice. Yeah. Let me do this. I still haven't really thought about the using a test framework or not. I think I'll sleep on that decision. I do want to go into adding a NX plugin so we don't have to manage all of this stuff and we don't have to have this on the file system. And I'm pretty sure whatever's going on with the error we were seeing, which was this NX, something is putting an executor on that. I don't know what. And if I don't know what, excuse me, I think it stands to reason other folks won't either. There it is. What does this have in it? Okay. We have the generator. Executor we should be able to get rid of. I was just wanted to see if there was I just wanted to see if there's some plugin that was messing with stuff here. Project. We have an NX file. .nx. Interesting. Where am I on my file system? Okay, where I thought we were. So that's good. Oh, I just realized I wasn't sharing my screen for a good bit of that. We'll get better at that. Sorry, folks. But still trying to figure out why this is going wrong. I believe this should have been working. I'm not sure why it's not. It's weird to me that. Well, let's back out these changes. Okay. It must be in here. No, it's not. Excuse me. X17. Interesting. Let me just try this. Migrate latest. Yo, Brandon, what's up, man? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, this was what I was confused by. There's no nx.json file, but we are definitely using nx stuff just fine. Let me see. So let's say day 1b. I thought we were using things just fine. Oh, it's because I moved everything around. That totally makes sense why that wouldn't work. But let me throw in the nx.json and have it look like what I kind of expected it to look like. We kind of go from there. So I'll add in. I wonder why we didn't have it originally. So AOC. Okay, there we go. Thanks, man. Glad to hear you're doing well. Yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. Yeah, we'll see. I'm hoping we can get folks a really good TypeScript starter here. Hopefully a Rust one too, but I haven't even gotten nearly that far yet. That's okay. So we'll go ahead and run this. Check out the package JSON. Looks right. Excuse me. Inference plugins. Excuse me. Those make sense. I don't want to put some plugins here too, because that's going to be the next step, is adding our own plugins so that we don't have to have any of this, ideally. Excuse me. TSX. Excuse me. I wonder if this will run now. Okay. Well, whatever the problem was before, it's resolved. If we do sample, that's done. Excuse me. All right. So the next thing we want to do is add the plugin. I want to be able to remove everything inside of here, at least all of this. Let's just go ahead and do that right now. So that goes away. I want to be able to run these commands that we had here, but I also want to be able to run it like this. not do foo. And I want that to use it, this output. I don't know how often that feature would get used, but I want to support it. So we'll see if we can do that. So we'll create a new plugin in here. I think this one I actually will publish as a package rather than just dump it into everyone's generated repo. But we'll say plugin. Here we'll add. So let's call this the AOC plugin. And in the NXJSON, we're going to add the /AOC plugin. I think I need .ts there. And inside this plugin, we're going to use like the create nodes v2, or I think it's just called create nodes now. We'll find out. We're in NX20, so let me see. Let's see, plugin. This is a Linux plugin. V2, I think. This is going to look like some array of stuff. Or actually, I believe it's actually a tuple. So I don't even know what this would look like. So this is essentially triggering the function for every the first item of the tuple is like the glob, I guess, essentially for each one of the files that should be included. And then the second part here would be files, and then we have like options, which I don't intend to use. And this would be a promise. Create nodes result. I think the v2 I need. That should be it. And this should all come from the dev kit, I think. So we'll import. From okay, let me see. All right, so it is still called v2, even though create knows. Okay. Excuse me. So from here, I don't know what that glob looks like yet. It's going to be something like day, whatever, and then like dot ts, I guess. I guess what I want to dynamically add is stuff. I guess it would look like something like data.star.txt or datastar.txt. And then inside of the files array would be every data file that we had in here. So originally it would look like kind of like what we have for date right here. Bill, what's up, man? Always great to have you on the stream. So, and then have you come in and disappear. I appreciate you coming through, Bill. Hope the training goes well, and yeah, I'll reach out sometime. Hope everything's going well. But yeah, so this files array should give us everything, every data file at that point that we have. And when you start the template, everyone should have at least a sample and a regular one. And people then could be able to add an additional one. And I want to be able to put that additional one into the project graph as well as a target. So I think the way that this would look like is, I would say, for essentially as a file of files, instead of console logging it, we're going to want to put that we want to essentially like add that to the array. Yeah, I'll just do it in one step, I think. I was considering whether to whether to break this out into a separate function to process each file individually. Yeah, maybe we'll do it that way. Maybe we'll do it that way instead. That would be better. All right, so we'll say constant result. Yeah. Return result. We'll say result.push. Create target for file. So here, function target for file. Given some file string, I want to return a string, and that's just going to be the file that it did, and a create node result. Is that right? Not a V2, I don't think. That is, what is a V2 exactly? And a create nodes result. Yeah, that's exactly what I want. I guess yes. What I want this to create. Oh shoot, I was pasting some stuff in. I guess what I do want this to create this. But a single one of them, I guess. So I guess, yeah, I do want to do it that way. string and then create notes result. Yeah. With that. Okay. So this would always return the file for one. And the second part, what does this exactly look like? Projects and external nodes. Anything else? I think that's it. So we essentially want it to be string to project configuration. All right. So the project we just want to call AOC. And then for targets, we want to do something like what we had seen where we're parsing out the file. So here we would get this and we want to turn this into, what we would see. The file would include the day. So somewhere here we get constant, something like day part and data set. Yeah, it's just like what we had seen before. Parse. It's not really parsing. I guess it's like derive from file name. Derive from file. We get those three pieces. Once we had those three pieces, we'd plug it in here. So yeah, kind of like that. I'm going to undo. So we essentially want it to look like this. Like this. So if there is no data set, it should look like this. If there is a data set, it should look like that. Whatever the data set is named should go in there. So this would be really data set name should be the third piece. Data set name. So TSX. Yep. All the interpolation is messing with my head. All right, I think that's right. I do need, obviously, day slash part. Then from there, I can add on the data set name with a space if it has one. Otherwise, that's the end. I think that's what we need. Obviously, I need to do the derive from file name. What is it not like about this? Oh, we gotta nest this in level deeper. Projects. Give this another curly brace. Cool. So let's implement that function now. From file name is a string. Yep. I think that's right. I think that's actually right. I think all the pieces are in. Let's go ahead and try it. I'm going to need to remove again all the targets from here. So we're going to do NX reset. Do NX show project. Let's see. Cannot load plugin. Why can't it load this plugin? I actually don't know. Let's do verbose. Excuse me. Oh, okay. Freaking modules, man. What did I do for this? I wonder why that's happening. I actually don't know. So we have typeset to module, which would mean all these things should be specified as an ES module. I wonder if it's a TypeScript thing. No. What are the options here? I don't think this matters. But is there like an ES next? I don't think that mattered. Yeah. Okay. It doesn't like that we're using the import statements. These are all types. I wonder, I don't think that would matter. Cannot use import. Okay. I don't want it to be outside a module. I want this to be a module. I believe that is what this had done. So, I wonder if there's something where it's like not included. I don't think so. Looking at this. Huh. Modules, man. What are you gonna do? Well, I got 15 minutes left before I come to a hard stop. But I was thinking about why this would be an issue. Let's see. what are the options here? Oh, next. I wonder if this makes a difference. I don't think so. No. That's right. X reset, and then we'll run it again. Yeah. Out of curiosity, let's try common. I don't think that solves it for us either. But yeah. I don't know why we don't like this right now. I wonder if it's something in our NX config here. I want to think so. I don't think that does anything here either. No. Nope. I'm not sure. Please share a repo. Yeah, I'll definitely share it. This is really this is a little more of like proof of concept work at this point, I think, Mike. I'm happy to push this up. But this is really like just messing around with what I want people's projects to look like when they get their hands on it. So we'll the ultimate project, which I think I'm just going to make some changes to this one that's already up here on GitHub. This one will change so that we can just essentially run, like we say here, this for people to get to this. But figuring out what this looks like, the first piece, and just like messing around with the plugins to make this work would be the idea. Now, I don't know. The issue I'm hitting right now. I can't create the project graph right now because I'm unable to load that plugin. And the reason I'm unable to load that plugin is because I cannot use import statement outside of a module, which I should be inside a module right now from everything I can tell. I don't know. I don't know where things went wrong. We try. I'm just going to throw this at ChatGPT. And if that don't work, I'll probably like message some people after the stream, figure out what I did wrong. I fixed this error. I feel like I'm just going to get so much generic answer and probably stuff I've already done. Yeah. Excuse me. As a bundler, I could require, experimental modules. That shouldn't matter. One thing I'm curious is why it says like .js files by ES modules. How that works. I'm not entirely sure exactly how that works with TypeScript. But yeah. Let's see. What did you recommend again? For here. I wonder It should be set to module, but just out of curiosity, I can see this working, so we'll see. Now, it should not be able to find it this time. Cannot find module. But if I were to change my NXJSON to reference the right one, no. My headspace must be wrong for what the runtime is doing. Part of me just wants to, this is all just importing types. So just to get this running, because ultimately this stuff won't matter. Just strip off the types. Which is wild, but I'm just going to do it so we can get this past the line. Any others? That's it. All right. Did I leave something? No. All right. This should do it. Export. It doesn't even like that. Okay. Excuse me. Excuse me. All right. Do I have to do like module.exports equals in order to get this over? Let's see. Does that get me there? No. What? Huh. All right, hang on. Now that we're doing that, let's get rid of MTS and let's go back to. It doesn't really make sense to me why we're seeing the error we just saw. But let's see if we just see it still after this. What is happening? I think we're like trying to read this in as JavaScript, as common JS JavaScript. That's weird. I would not have expected that, but we can accommodate it for sure. It's going to say it doesn't like this now. Yep. Yeah, we're definitely trying to read it in as common JS JavaScript. And I just did that. So this is common JS JavaScript in a TypeScript file. Oh, almost there. Let's look for any as's. Right. There we go. This was my issue. I think that was it. Excuse me. Oh, projects in the following directories. Oh, that's right. We don't want to press the name here. I just want to put that. Does that get me there? The following directories. Oh, wait. That is what I want. What I don't want is here. Let's try that. That worked. Sweet. All right. Here's my project graph. This is very close to what I want. It's not quite there. It's the parsing on the. I'm pretty sure it's the stuff that I had. Whatchamacallit, just dump in. But okay, so going back to the AOC plugin, we're very close. I really want to get this in before I have to go here at 2:30 in 4 minutes. But something keeps closing the connection, which is odd. Wonder if there's something in here. Excuse me. I don't see anything out of the ordinary. It's almost like there's something like this doesn't actually quite match with what the with what my plugin code is actually doing. Doesn't look like. Hmm. PM scripts. Others. This looks like the ones that I added. Hey, Francois. Yes, this is prep. So we're trying to make I'm trying to make some improvements on the AOC starter template for TypeScript that we have done in the previous years. So just really polishing that and making it a little bit nicer this year. One of the big things is I want to use like the new NX features in it so that we can just get rid of a lot of the config. I'm getting some interesting stuff right now. Just in terms of like weird, interesting groupings of targets. That seems to be continuously crashing my daemon. So I think there's probably something in the plugin that's connecting to the graph itself. Like the previous plugin, like if we look at the package JSON, I think there's probably something in this that is setting itself up. I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense. So we looked at that. TS AOC starter. There is no plugin here. There's just the executors and the generators. And the index is empty. So I don't know. And yeah, thanks. I'm talking to a doctor about it today, but we'll figure it out. I feel fine aside from the cough and the voice, obviously. But we'll wrap it up here. I think the stream went moderately well. We made it just about as far as I wanted to, which is just getting the what people will get their hands on into a good state. And I've got a list right here in my binder. You can't really see it, but I've got my list there of stuff that we want to do for it. And next time we stream, I'll just keep going with what we have here and figure it out from there. So cool. Thanks folks for joining in. And yeah, I'll end it out there, and we'll see you next time.